Alright, so I am back, and today we are going to take a look at, trying to adjust my lights here, the Toyworld Roar figure. And here he is in his robot mode. And we'll go through this, and I do apologize, this is probably going to be a longer video, because I do know I'm going to try and get as many size comparisons as I can that are at least partially relevant. Get as many of those in there as I can. So, but yeah, here he is. Yeah, he's pretty cool. First off, by request, we'll take a look at the box. And he's got a big box. This is really, you guys know me. I'm not a huge thing on packaging, but this is actually a really top-notch package. It's got a flat finish over it, really good artwork on the front, as you can see. That same artwork on the side. We're gonna move him out of the way here. On the back, just real brief what that is. And then we got a back of the figure and the back of the dyno. Toyworld upside down, and then product information. And unlike other boxes, this actually opens up like a shoebox. So you just pull this out, and this comes up. And inside we got the instructions. The figure itself is actually not that complicated, so you don't really need instructions all that much. But it's really nice that they have the full colored instructions so that you can kind of see what you're doing. And it comes with that cards. It looks like a big sticker too. And this is actually a sealed bag. You can't just open this. So it's pretty nifty. And it's got a styrofoam thing. This is actually just really professional looking. It says Toyworld on the styrofoam, as you can see there. And then inside there's this is the foam packaging for the figure, which is cut out to match the figure, and then this piece here actually fit around the tail, so the tail itself wasn't bumping around or anything. So it's pretty solid packaging. Pretty impressed. Toyworld thus far has just used box and here, I'll show you, because I just got him in the mail. But just a window box with the plastic tray insert with the twist ties, and that's really all they usually do. So that new box is actually really impressive, and it makes me feel that they really took some time on this figure and care. Here he is in his robot mode. Really cool. Spin him around a little bit here. It's got a lot of chrome on this thing. Looks really impressive. Looks very much like a Dinobot. And yeah, he's really cool. Accessory wise, he comes with this pistol. I'm not a huge fan of this. I won't lie. The gun this part right here looks really bland, and this just doesn't really fit for the look. I just not a huge fan of it. But he holds it fairly well. He holds it well, so no problems there whatsoever. So there's that. Set that off to the side, and then he's got the sword. This is, there's a reason for this design, and I'll go into that once we're transforming it. But this is really kind of just sad. It's got some sculpted detail in it. Looks all right, but it just. It looks kind of dinky to him. you know, I'm partial to maybe giving him, you know, this sword or something, just to give him a big sword for a while, or one of the Fall Cybertron Grimlock swords, you know, something like that. You know, that looks better. But this thing just it's anyway. So yeah, anyway, he's as you can tell, he's big. He's pretty intimidating. Poseability wise, his head is on a ball joint, so it looks around. Doesn't go up too much, but it can go down, mostly because it's on its panel here that just kind of slides up and down. But when you push it down, you can get him looking down more. Shoulders go up and down, in and out, about that far. And you know, they go all the way around. This is one thing that I do have a problem with, is the fact that this panel here doesn't really have a place to lock in. Not that I've seen anyway. I was kind of hoping that I would find something at some point, but yeah. So you know, arms rotate, but you know, you run the risk of pulling that out. I wish it was just in there a little bit tighter, or something. But it's not the end of the world. He does have a bicep swivel, so that goes all the way around. Arms ratchet forward, back. This is a really tight ratchet, so it's really nice. It will definitely hold a pose, just like so. Nothing at the wrist, which is very. Usually, I have to say, you know, whatever. But it's actually kind of disappointing for this figure. I was kind of hoping for wrist swivel on him, actually. But the fingers do open and close. Just the one piece, so it's kind of like the Masterpiece cars. So there's that. Waist swivels. Legs come up and down, back and forth, in and out. Swivels right above the knee, bends at the knee, and then the toe has full tilt in there. So I mean, you could get him pretty wide stance if you wanted to. I know he doesn't look very good right there, but you could do that. He is a little back heavy, but these the dino feet kind of double as heel spurs, so just kind of make sure, you know, when you're posing him that you get those heels in there at the right angles, and he should be just fine. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to robot mode. So let's get him into dino mode, and then we'll get him back into robot mode. So the first thing you want to do is you open up this chest piece here. You can flip the head in, like so. Flip that around and just give it a good push. That locks it into place. Take the legs here. You want to flip this panel out, like so. And then you take this piece here, and it's on a double hinge, right here and here. So you pull this out like this, and then as you do, you just want to keep pulling this hinge so it can kind of just rotate around. And then, so you want this piece inside like so, like that. So, you know, again, you just rotate it and just kind of let it keep moving so that it ends up in the same spot. See how it is on this side? So you just want to do that, because the first time I transformed it, I left it like that, and then that's not right. So just keep going, and then you're fine. So keeping this panel out, rotate the leg around and up, and then you close up that panel, and you're able to get it all correct, and you just kind of move that dino head out of the way. Move everything out of the way here. Do the same thing on this side here. So flip this panel out, flip this dino's head up a little bit, Flip the leg around and then just double swivel it in, and kind of close this all up as you're pulling it together, and there you go. Now you want to pull these arm shoulders here down a little bit and pull this piece here up and just rotate it to the side. Just kind of keep that out of the way. Then you're able to pull this up and this piece will come all the way up like so. You just want to keep pulling his legs all the way down so that they all like so. So it looks like that. So it's a little finicky. It makes it a lot easier if you pull this tail off, but I'm trying to leave it on for the transformation because you shouldn't have to take it off, I don't think. Or in my opinion, you shouldn't have to. But it is removable. It's just a little port. So let's do that again over here. So you rotate this up, and as you're rotating it up, you want to rotate this leg down and just kind of get it all together like so. Once you got that, then you're able to peg the body together. Rotate the feet forward. Rotate the feet forward, and there's the front half down. Done. And there's tabs down at the bottom here, the red piece that'll tab in this little notch right in here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me try and zoom in. Yeah. So that little red tab there will tab in there. And then there's two black tabs up here that'll tab into these two slots there. So you get those all lined up. Get this all lined up. Everything looks good. Alright. And you're also supposed to pull this panel here down. It just kind of as a gap filler. I always have a hard time getting it out though. Because it really does wedge in there pretty good. Try to find another tool here. That'll work. It wedges in very well. So you just kind of, yeah, see, it's really not wanting to come down. It's one of those pieces that just, it's a space filler, so I'm not sure how relevant it is. But it's like if you don't pull it down at a right angle, it'll just it'll get stuck. But you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna leave it how it is. Alright, now you take a panel here, open this up, make sure this fist is all the way closed because it's going to be hard to get it out if it's not. Rotate that in, lock that in, pull the toes up like so. Do the same thing over here, fold that up, make sure the hand's all the way in, pull it down, close it, legs will come down, and then the shoulders themselves are on double hinges right in there. So up like this is robot mode, and you just take this and it just swivels down, and that's dyno mode. So you do that again over here. Again, this is one of those, I wish these red pieces, these red panels had a good place to lock in. And then, yeah, those red pieces, I wish they were easier to get down, but they're not. But, like I said, oh well. Rotate the tail around here. And you open it up. And you take the sword, and this is where I was telling you about. And the sword, you can see there's a little cutout here in the plastic. And you just pop that tail in there. Close these, close the tail up. Just locks into place. And then, see, it just kind of came off. But the tail itself plugs into this plug right here. And then these 4 ports around it just kind of will sit around inside here, 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 and here. And just kind of holds it into place. So that's pretty nice. And there you have him in Dino mode. And then you can take the gun here, and there's a port right there. You can just plug that in, like so. Zooming this out a little bit more, and there you have Roar in Dino mode. Really cool. I really dig it. I know he's fiddly. He's not complicated. It's this red piece, you know, rotating it with the tail. Like I said, you could just pull the tail off, and that makes transformation infinitely easier. But yeah, he looks really good. Very G1-esque. And thus far, I don't see any Combinder kibble on this thing at all. So I know they're supposed to combine, but I don't see how and why and where. But if it does, you know, they hit it very well, and that's what I liked about their throttle bots. Is like, you know, aside from an extra port here and there, you cannot tell that it's a Combinder. So for Poseability in this mode, the gun doesn't do anything. It just pegs in. Legs retain the same articulation here, so they go up and down. They can go a little bit out. They're kind of, well, no, there they go. I was gonna say they were kind of restricted because it was feeling kind of restricted, but then it just kind of, you just kind of pull on the leg itself, pull it out a little bit, and then you get the full range. You have the swivel there, the bend at the knee. Again, those ratchets are really tight. Foot pivots. Nothing at the waist, but I wouldn't really expect this to have a waist. Front leg swivels up and down, can move in and out. Again, same kind of thing as the back. It's got a bicep swivel, bends at the knee. The foot does pivot. Head can go up and down a little bit. There's no outward motion, but it does go up and down. And then the mouth does open. It's pegged in on the this side. So if you open it from the left side, you are probably going to just open half the mouth. But if you open it from the right side, or his left, my right. If you open it from that side, it opens up just fine. And so yeah, and then each one of these plates is on a ball joint. So they all can rotate and twist however you want them to look. If you want them more splayed out, like this, you can do that. If you want them straight up and down, you can do that. Those are, I mean, it's not something I always thought, oh man, I hope he's going to have ball jointed plates, but he does, so I guess that works. So I'm going to pause the video real quick, and then we'll go into size comparison in this mode. Flipping back to robot mode. I know, I'm very sorry that these are long videos, but everybody wanted to see the transformations more, so anyway. Alright, so for comparison in Dino mode, we're going to start with Fall Cybertron Grimlock here. And see how they stack up. yeah. No, this scale does not work with him whatsoever. He's just infinitely better than he is. It really shows which one's the cheap toy. This guy or this guy. And this guy is not the cheap toy. So yeah, there's that. Here he is next to the MP Grimlock. Let's see how they stack up there. And honestly, this scale doesn't... It's not terrible. MP Grimlock is a little too big for him, or he's a little too small for MP Grimlock. But it's not that bad. They do work pretty well together, I think. So, and then last but not least, here he is next to the Fans Toys Scoria, and again the scale is just way off, but they do look nice together, even though he's just so much smaller, but they do look nice. I do like it. This is much more G1 style than he is, or the Fans Projects, what I meant. He's very G1. I'm sorry. That was just stupid of me to say that. I didn't mean to say that. But he's just a lot more G1 style than the Fans Project. So he fits pretty well with this. Anyway, let's get him out of the way. And also, let me show off how he looks. Here he is with Classics Prime. Now, this is one where, and here he is with the Orion figure. This is where, he doesn't look that big, because, it's hard for the Dinobots, because Dino modes are supposed to be so big, like this. They're supposed to be massive, but the robot modes, they're supposed to only be about a head taller than Optimus, so it's kind of hard to say, which one's better. And he's definitely not big enough in Dino mode. This kind of works, but still, he should be bigger. Anyway, back to the figure at hand. So we're going to change him back into robot mode real quick. I'm going to pull the tail off, and then you just kind of split it apart. Take the sword out. We're just going to take that and set it off to the side. Like I said, it makes the transformation a lot easier. What you want to do here is just split the dino in half, pull the legs down just a little bit, and then you want to start pulling him. It's kind of finicky how this all works. Rotate these shoulder pieces up, and see, this is why moving that tail out, taking the tail off, helps out so much, because now we don't have to mess with that. So you move the legs out a little bit, and then you pull this panel out just a little bit, and that helps make the whole leg move. So you do that, fold that out, take this, rotate this back around like we had before, flip the foot around. You don't actually have to do that, but it does help, like I said, if you use that as a heel spur. So do the same thing over here. And if you keep this panel out, it helps moving this foot in. You can close the panel, but it does make things a little tight in there. So you fold that, rotate that around, close up that panel, pull these legs down, or the head halves down. much today. I recorded a rant of the week, which will be up tomorrow instead of today, because I got him in the mail. Anyway, so here's where you would push those pieces back up, but since we never got them down, because they're wedged in there pretty good, which is stupid. Yeah, I mean, it's an aesthetic thing, so I'm okay if an aesthetic thing doesn't work, as long as it's not a critical piece. So you fold these arms down, and then you double hinge them up. Double hinge up. Flip this open, flip this open, and then it's best if you have like a little tool that you can reach in there and pull the fist out with. And just get in there. Pull that down. Again, like I said, it helps to get something in there. If you use your finger, you run the risk of kind of opening up that fist a little bit, and you don't want to do that. I really wish there was a little gripper in there, like some figures have. Open this up here, so you can flip the head around, close the chest back up, and take this piece here, fold this back, like so. Take the tail piece here, and this will just rotate, and then you just plug this in like so, and then just kind of move the tail up a little bit, and there he is back in robot mode. Then you can take his gun, take his sword, adjust those feet. This is a very smooth surface, so he's having a little hard time standing because of that. But he's doing pretty well. So I'm going to pause this real quick and get the other dinos in robot mode so we can see how they all look together and go from there. Alright, so we're back. Snarl's in robot mode. We're going to try and be brief as we can. So here he is with the classic Seeker mold. And right here is where I think he scales the best. And here he is with the iGear Seeker mold. And you see how he's about the same size. So I know a lot of people think, say the Dinobots need to be taller than the Seekers. So if you got him and you're thinking about getting him, then he might not be the right fit for you. So we get the Seekers out of the way here. By request, they wanted to see with my future reviews the Springer mold, Generation Springer. So he's about half a head shorter. And I will continue to use him, or his mold. I might be using the Sandstorm here and there if I want to, or once the Cloud Rodimus Prime comes out, that's where I'll probably be using. Here he is next to MP Wheeljack. He's about a head taller than him, so that it works. He should be a little bit bigger than that, but it can work. Let me get those guys out of the way. Here he is next to Classics Prime, who is about a head shorter. This works perfectly. So if you're using the classic cars, like here is Generations Wheeljack. So yeah, this does scale perfectly. So if you're going with that smaller scale, this works very well. Here he is with Orion. And Orion is a head taller. So, take that, as you will. He definitely looks like he's got more mass than Orion, but Orion is taller. And what I know a lot of people are really waiting for, here he is next to the Fall Cybertron Grimlock. And he's just a little taller than Fall Cybertron Grimlock. But he's got so much more mass and G1 style that it's not even funny. This is just, when I first got him, I thought, wow, this is the best Grimlock I've ever seen outside of Masterpiece. This thing just overshadows it so much, but the grays really are close. But he just outshines him in every possible way there is. This thing just is garbage in comparison to him. Now, to make him feel, now that we're done making Grimlock feel bad for himself, let's get the real guys in here. Here he is next to Masterpiece Grimlock. And he's little over a head shorter. So for me, these two actually scale very well together, because I do think Grimlock should be bigger than the other dinos. And then to really make everybody feel bad about themselves, here is the Fans Toys Scoria, aka Slag, with his diecast and awesomeness, and he just towers over both of them. He comes up to about mid-chest, so this does not scale with him at all. But maybe a good place filler until Fans Toys version comes out. So, for a while there, I was sitting there thinking, the Dinobots are too big. The MP Dinos are too big. I'm still not a fan of having to give him his moon shoes, which I'm going to go grab real quick here. But, I was thinking, get the Toyworld guys. They're going to be a little bit smaller. They'll scale better. And they're cheaper. About $100 cheaper than the MP ones. But ultimately, sitting here while doing this review and playing with these masterpieces in comparison to him, it's like every other masterpiece figure out there. You cannot compare it to a classics level figure. So that being said, I'm going to, for a rating for him, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He's a really solid figure. He's fun to transform, a little fidgety here and there. Those little panels, I just couldn't get those out. He's a little fidgety, but he's a good figure. I do recommend him only if, for these 2 points, though. If you're into the smaller scale classics figure. If you are into the bigger scales, where you are using Orion, you've got to go MP dinos. There is no question about that. You have got to do that. This does not scale very well. It's almost forgivable, but not quite. If you're using the classic scale and not have Orion, and you have just regular Optimus, this works perfectly, but the MPs don't work very well. So that's what I'm saying. He's a very good figure if you're using the smaller scale classics. If you're using the bigger scale, you need to go bigger. And you guys saw how the Dino looked. He's not big enough to really pull off that intimidating Dino. I had my doubts that I was going to keep big guys, but he helped me see that is not quite what I wanted. So that being said, as much as I love this figure, if anybody's interested in him, let me know. I'm willing to sell him right now. He's a great figure, but I mean, you saw the review, but I got to stick with the bigger ones. So I'm gonna actually text a friend. Actually, never mind. I'm not selling him. I'm gonna text a friend, see if they're interested in him. But yeah, he's really good, really solid. I do like him. I do recommend him for the smaller scale, not for the bigger scale. I need to wrap this video up because I know people have been complaining my videos go too long. Part of that's because I rant, which I'm ranting now about ranting, which is just ridiculous. But also, you know, I try to show off every possible thing you guys might want. So anyway, great figure. Do recommend him. Does not work for bigger scale for me. I don't know if this works for you guys or not. But it doesn't quite do it for me. Just being that almost a head shorter than Orion just doesn't work. Because Orion's going to be my new Optimus. Anyway, I'm done. So what do you guys think of this? Does this scale work with any of you guys? If so, comment below. Let me know.